it took a traumatic situation in 2020, the biggest year everyone had online, right?
Yeah.
Right around, I think it was about October 2020, I got robbed at gunpoint.
Wow.
My life changed dramatically. You know, being in DC, relocating to Houston, Texas, I just had my guards down, got caught slipping, but I didn't just get robbed of just by a gun and just, you know, robbed of a Chanel bag and an AP. Like, I got robbed of my dignity, my confidence, my self-esteem, my fearlessness as a woman. It took me about 2 years to recuperate. So it was a long, it's so interesting. I've heard of you. Now we have a relationship. We DM each other a lot. But, and then, of course, seeing each other in the flesh. Yeah. But it's interesting. In that season where a lot of entrepreneurs are networking, I was going through the worst season of my life.
Ghetto. Good idea. Now we buying merch. That's ghetto. Payment miss. Ooh, the ghetto. Say she quit. Ooh, the ghetto. Late on your rent. Rent is ghetto. New event. Ooh, the ghetto. Invoice in. That ain't ghetto. Money spin. Oh, that's ghetto. Hold on. It's kind of ghetto being a CEO.
Welcome back to another episode of the Ghetto CEO Podcast, where we keep it raw and unfiltered because we give you the truth behind being a CEO. See, when you get on Instagram, they show you the glamorous life of being a CEO, but y'all, it's a lot of tears that go behind these letters, okay? Listen, I like to bring you guys guests that's going to be transparent, that's going to tell y'all the truth, because you guys are messaging me daily, talking about how much you can relate to this podcast. So listen, if you have been loving what we've been putting out, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. But listen, I need y'all YouTube fans to go over there to the Apple Podcast, the Spotify Podcast, wherever you got the podcast at, okay? The listening podcast. Go and leave us a review. Download it, okay? Because listen, those reviews matter. It show us and the streets that we really be talking about what we talking about, okay? Now listen, I'm excited to have this guest, okay? Y'all are this is not somebody that's new to y'all, okay? But I am excited to have her because I actually got to witness her this weekend in all of her glory. And I would say it gave me a newfound respect and admiration for this young lady. So I want to welcome Miss Nathalie Nicole to the podcast. Hey, girl.
Listen, your energy is amazing.
No, thank you.
So happy to be here.
No, thank you for being here. And I want to say, so this weekend, I was able to come and see you in Houston, and girl, it was a brief moment because I stopped in between the conference, but I was like, what she be talking about. I like that. Because sometimes you just see people off Instagram, you be like,
I don't know about that. No.
But no, the energy was great. So welcome to the Ghetto CEO Podcast. But let them know who you are.
I'm cracking up because being a CEO can be ghetto at times.
Very.
And this weekend, even I saw you, I remember my security was like, is she good? I'm like, she's very good, you know? So that was a ghetto moment where I was like, do I have to stop this? But, I give respect to where it's due. And again, thank you for having me. My name is Natalie. And of course, most people know me, Nathalie Nicole, but Natalie is what it is. And most people know me for network marketing in the Instagram world.
Yeah.
But I've been in entrepreneurship for over 10 years.
Wow.
I opened up my first salon at 22 years old.
Okay.
I did celebrity hair makeup for about 12 years.
What?
After graduating from Howard University in public relations and business. So that's my background, my foundation. So throughout the years, I pivoted, and I realized throughout the years that I am the brand. So I've created more of a lifestyle brand. Yeah. So where I'm pivoting in now is not being boxed in anymore. Yep. If I desire to do this business or this business, I don't want to be, put in a category as I just need to do wellness or I just need to do women empowerment. So ultimately, my goal is to impact lives all across the world, specifically women, and helping them understand they're powerful through my truth, through my stories, through my testimonies.
Yes. And one question that we always ask our CEOs, because no one asks us this, but how are you feeling?
I feel good. And I have to be totally transparent. The day of my show, I was dehydrated.
Yes.
So I vomited several times. And I was like, Lord, this is not your will.
This cannot be
It's not it. Because being a CEO, you have to boss up. Being a CEO, you're not just going to cancel things because of your emotion. You're going to figure it out. And it was not life or death.
Yeah.
I'll figure it out and I'll get it together. So I feel great. I'm really big on my mental health.
Yeah.
I'm really big on self-care. Right after the show, I did IV drips. I went to the sauna. As soon as I got to Atlanta, I went to my favorite spot, the Four Seasons.
Yes.
Went to the spa.
Them spas are different. Them scrubs.
The scrubs are amazing.
Yes.
I take a lot of care into how I feel. I think that a lot of people just throw God in it, but I do believe that God desires for us to have dominion over our health.
Absolutely.
And our mindset. So I'm always making sure that Natalie's feeling good. And I haven't always been like that.
Yeah. How did you get there? Because listen, it's not, as you are growing and glowing through these CEO streets, a lot of times the business takes over what Natalie wants. And so how did you start to prioritize that for yourself?
It took a traumatic situation in 2020, the biggest year everyone had online, right?
Yeah.
Right around, I think it was about October 2020, I got robbed at gunpoint.
Wow.
My life changed dramatically. Being in DC, relocating to Houston, Texas, I just had my guards down, got caught slipping. But I didn't just get robbed of just by a gun and just, robbed of a Chanel bag and an AP. Like, I got robbed of my dignity, my confidence, my self-esteem, my fearlessness as a woman. It took me about 2 years to recuperate. So it was a long, it's so interesting. I've heard of you. Now we have a relationship because we DM each other a lot. And then, of course, seeing each other in the flesh. Yes. But it's interesting. In that season where a lot of entrepreneurs are networking, I was going through the worst season of my life. Yeah. So social media doesn't really tell it all because I was trying to be strong. Yeah.
And that it's crazy because social media make us feel like we have to be strong. You can't show up weak.
No. And that's when the game changed for me because right when I had the awakening of just like, Natalie, what do you want in life? Okay, you make this money, but guess what? It was interesting because you work so hard. I'm sure you can relate to make money. Then you make the money. Then you're not happy. Then you're not happy. You have no peace. And when you have no peace, you cannot operate.
Yes.
You cannot operate.
You will throw it all away.
Yeah. So I looked at my life and I said, okay, you have the cars, you have the material stuff, but it means nothing.
Right.
It's time to get in alignment with God's will for your life.
Right.
And I think that spirituality is not a trend. God is a lifestyle.
Absolutely.
Having a relationship with him, everyone is different. You don't have to jump up and down at the church to say you love God.
Absolutely.
We all have our relationship. And I feel like it was back to me getting that relationship right that got my mind back.
And sometimes, and I love that you said that because sometimes in business, you feel like you the one doing it all.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you feel like you the one that got you this car. You the one got you the millions. You the one, and then God will check you and be like, hold on now. I need you to remember that the source is me, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's super important, and I love that you are very open about your faith, right? And I love that because a lot of times I remember even at the place in Houston, at your spot in Houston, we young lady asked a question about being 21 and trying to figure it out, and Natalie was like, "Listen, giving her the real
Girl, I'm
game."
gonna tell you the truth. Because I think that social media is an interesting playground to be at. It's very dangerous.
Very.
Very dangerous. Some streets is very dangerous.
Very.
Okay?
Yes.
And I'm dedicating my life to being authentic. And if I'm going to be on social media, I want to stay authentic. I want to be myself. And I want to keep showing up as the best version of myself.
Right.
That's it. I'm not negotiating it anymore.
Yeah. And before you even got to this spot, you said you did hair, and then you talked about you worked at the club in Houston.
No, not in Houston, DC.
Okay, DC.
So in college, I worked in the club from 18 years old to about 28, all in DC.
Okay. And so is that where you from?
So I'm from Maryland.
Okay.
People be real big now. They have like the DMV.
Right.
So I grew up in Silver Spring, Maryland.
Okay.
Went to Howard in 2005, and I've been in DC since.
I love it.
So grew up like adult life, adulted in DC.
Yes.
And life in DC taught me a lot. It moves really fast, and you grow fast. You can win big when you're focused. I've always been a very focused woman.
Yeah.
And when I do pivot, I realized my personal brand was the main thing that allowed me to pivot and be successful.
And, you know, I love that because first of all, I didn't know you was from DC or Maryland, right? So that definitely makes sense. But I also tell people that exposure breeds clarity, because I remember when I was trying to pick a school, I didn't know anything about Howard. But if I think about it now, girl, I would sign up right now. So how was that experience going to HBCU?
It was a big deal. That's one thing that I'm now celebrating again. Because, you know, you go through life and you hit these pivots and you forget where you come from sometimes. Because they're always wanting that next level, next level. So I'm in a space of just flow and being grounded. And back to the grounded space that I'm in, I'm celebrating. You are a Howard University graduate. You have a PR and business degree. And you should share that story that it was a big deal going to Howard University. You know, Howard University, the name holds weight. I tell people I went to Howard, let me call this person. Let me do this. I'm like, thank you. You know,
I appreciate it.
I appreciate that very much. You know, so going to Howard has been a blessing in my life. I definitely believe that has helped my entrepreneurship journey because I definitely get a lot of support in that space. In addition to that, at Howard, I had to grow up because mind you, I grew up in a predominantly Jewish environment. So most people don't know that about me. I'm Trinidadian Guyanese. My mom's side grew up in a West Indian household. My dad's American, but I was raised in a West Indian household. So imagine growing up in a predominantly Jewish environment, but not really having money, you know, growing up in lack. I didn't have my own bed to sleep. I didn't have my own room since I was in 3rd grade.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry, 2nd grade. So 2nd grade is the last time I had my own room. So people say, well, how do you hustle? How do you grind? You're privileged. I was not privileged at all. I have great parents. They love me, but they gave me what they could. You know, so being that they gave me what they could, that's where the hustle came in. And going to Howard, I was a hustler. I don't believe I got a chance to be a student 100% because I got into the bottle service industry. Then from the bottle service industry, got into dating dope boys. Then, you know, dating those guys in the streets got into me being a hustler and makeup artist and hairstylist. And I've never stopped. So me getting robbed was like, I don't want to say it was God's way of stopping me, but I never stopped. So from 20 years old all the way up to 33, I never stopped. I never had a moment to say, you graduated, job well done. You went to Veda Institute, you're a esthetician, job well done. You opened a salon at 22 years old, 6 figures your first year, job well done. I never gave myself that time. So Howard was a big deal, but I'm now understanding that at my big age now.
You know, I love that because a lot of times as entrepreneurs, we don't give ourselves grace.
No.
We don't give ourselves grace and we do not celebrate the wins.
No, like it's unfortunate. I'm in a space now where I am normalizing new adult sister friendships because as you grow and evolve, you do need to surround yourself with people that are going through similar things. Because I've always been the entrepreneur and I love my friends, but we've grown so much, right? And as much as you can love somebody, that doesn't mean that they're supposed to be a part of your journey at that moment. So now I'm like circling back, you know, revisiting some relationships, but ultimately for me to get to my next dimension, I have to own where I am right now, appreciate how far I have came, and then align with God and then get accountability. You get what I'm saying? Because there is an easier way to get there. Being a CEO doesn't have to be so ghetto.
It don't have to be.
Being a CEO does not have to be so ghetto. Get some help, okay? And I say that because a lot of people gatekeep, and I people use that word very loosely when I say that. If I am looking to get the best accountant, I don't want you to send me someone that's giving you a referral fee. Give me somebody that changed your life. Don't give me someone you used back in the day.
Give me the one you using now and tell me why you left the one that you were trying to give me. Because
do you understand me?
Yes.
If you are doing credit, and again, I'm on my business real heavy on Instagram. That's one thing about me. Like, you know, that like if it wasn't for our organic connection, I just mind my business, you know? The reason being is there's so much going on, I have to stay focused. And you're guilty by association. So I don't even want to ask you for any favors or ask you for any help unless I know that this is a soul connection where I can really like say, you know, says, I'm going through this, I need a good videographer. There's no reason why in Atlanta, at one point, having trouble with a videographer or having trouble with, it took me, like, you know, my friend, he gives me a lot of resources, but overall, I have been searching for things for so long, and then people just give me the people they used to use because they don't want their person to get too busy. And I understand it, but when you have character in your brand, the people around you should always honor you,
exactly.
You know, and be honest with whomever else. Right. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. It's just like changing the narrative of how it feels to be a CEO, a sister friend, and that woman that still wants to be a mom and a wife. Like, we deserve it all. And we don't have to limit ourselves anymore.
We can have it all. And I think so many times we've heard like, well, you got to pick. You either got to have the successful business or you could be the mom. Or no. Why I can't have it all?
And that's where systems come in. That's where foundational transitions happen as well. And I'm sure you know this. A lot of brands, I love your platform because there's so many things we did back then that does not work now.
No, facts.
Especially with AI and there's like virtual shit. So many things we can do to implement now to make things work. Yeah. So I'm in a space now where it's like, okay, if God promised me heaven on earth, I'm going to get this heaven on earth. Yes, and I'm no longer going to put myself through struggle and pain and anxiety. I am rebuking that in my life because I lived with that for so long. Yeah. So back to the first question, when I feel that in my chest, like after the event, I was excited, but I didn't celebrate it. I was like, okay, well, what's next? And what do we got to... I looked at myself like, you're sick.
Yeah, you know? Very. Like, if I would have known that, girl, we would have went somewhere, okay?
So we went to like dinner, but it still was like entertainment. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm in a space now where I'm taking the time to unplug. Yeah,
you need that. Because you can't be turned on. And not to say that you like faking or with this.
Oh, yeah.
But it's energy. Like you need people that you really, I can take my wig off. I can lay here and we could just kiki, have fun, watch TV, and you don't got to entertain me. I don't got to entertain you.
No, we can be on our phone. We can be quiet. So I have that now. So in my life now, I call it low maintenance relationships. I am big on that. Yes. Like I'm big on, like if I didn't call you back, do not get mad. No, we're going to talk. Okay.
But I love you.
Yeah, I love you. If you see me on live, do not say nothing. Yes, don't comment. Oh, really? Like,
don't bring that energy.
Because I don't want to feel like that. Yeah. So I love where we are now. Yeah. Acknowledging how we feel. Yeah. I think that mental health has been such a negative thing to speak about, but that's important. Yes. Having friendships that don't trigger you is important.
If you're over here on YouTube watching the podcast, listen, I need you to do me a favor. If you love me, do me this favor. Pull out your phone right now and go to Apple Podcasts or Spotify Podcasts or anywhere that you actually listen to podcasts at, right? I need you to subscribe and leave a review. Listen, the way podcasts work is the streets don't know we doing good if it's not on the audio version. The YouTube version don't really count, okay? So go over there, leave us a review, and let us know how much you love the podcast. Now back to the episode.
And for so long, I remember, I didn't listen to those triggers. I knew when I got around certain people, I just would feel, uneasy.
Thing.
You were like, ooh.
It's very much something.
Something. Yes.
You're like, it's something about this.
I don't know what it is, and I just wouldn't listen to it. But I had a friend tell me, because I was telling her about a situation, and she said, how do you feel when you're around that person? And I was explaining, she said, listen to yourself. And that was the first time it clicked. And that didn't make that person a bad person. Yeah. It's just that I don't really like when you do this. Yeah. And I kind of see when you do this. This is what's up. You know what I mean? So let me just take me up out the equation sometimes. And
I love it.
It's a thing. It's a real thing.
It's awareness.
Yes.
I feel like when you start to spark that part of the mind and you're aware of how you're feeling, that's when every other part of your body is able to be well. Right. And our two most important organs in our body is our heart and our brain. And it's so important how we treat it. Yes. So imagine if someone's always making you feel like this, it affects our heart. Yep. And mentally we're like, I don't know about that.
I don't know. And and the thing is, we're also training ourselves to be okay with things that's not making us feel okay.
I'm not okay with that.
No. Yeah. And we should speak up.
now, and I love that for us though. Now
I love that.
I love that for us right now because now I'm like, I actually don't like that.
Yes.
You know, people invite you places, you're like, I actually don't want to go now, but before it was not like that.
Oh no, I just felt like I had to go, I had to do, I had to be okay with it. But now it's something about finally putting yourself first. Yeah, you know, it's some type of like just empowerment to say, no, I don't want that. I don't mean any harm, but I don't want it. And I hope y'all are getting this, because this is when you get that level of awareness, it releases and frees you from all these things that you feel like you're tied to.
It's important. And I think that it also heals trauma. I feel like from a child, there were things I did to fit in, being in those type of environments that I didn't necessarily want to do. But I did it for the sake of being accepted. Because when you're a child, you want to be accepted. Who doesn't want to be liked as a child? So as you grow, you're more aware of yourself. It's like, you know what? I'm a people pleaser.
Right. And you got to identify that. You got to speak to it. I remember, like you said, as a child, I remember even guys that I would talk to. I'm like, I don't really like him, but I think I have to. Like, or you would make it transactional where if I want you to give me something, I got to give you a part of me. And it's like, now it's like this transactional thing, and you're now taking this trauma into your adulthood, and you figuring out, well, why you can't have a successful relationship, because all of that unhealed things that you just ain't touched on.
And that's the beauty of where we are right now, because there is I believe it's a moment where the world is being shaken right now, and you either can shake in the direction that God is calling you to go into, or you can just stay in a stuck space. And when it comes down to healing, I think souls are realizing that, hey, there's something that isn't right about this. Why is it that I don't have a successful relationship? Why can't I keep friendships? Why don't I keep employees? Maybe there's something that I am doing that I have to pivot, and not living in shame, not feeling like you owe your past this big type of
farewell party.
I'm not going to do that. Right? No, we're moving on. We're moving forward. And that's kind of like where I'm at too. And again, even when it comes down to my love life, just owning like, okay, what do you want? Not what does that person want. What do you want? Because one whole plus another whole equals two. And it takes two people in a healthy relationship to be whole, right? So even in a friendship, what are things I like to have in the friends, and how can I show up as her? So I think being able to really pivot in that space and go back and fix, and then even you might be in a relationship or a friendship and be like, I don't even like that anymore. Right. I really don't even care to do those things with you anymore, and being able to articulate that. And I feel like it's a sensitive space to be in, a vulnerable space to be in. Very vulnerable. But it's so freeing.
So how did you, because I feel like as we get older, right, we start to have to like peel people off. Like it's like an onion. You gotta like, okay, you gotta stay over there. I gotta do this. But it's harder because we're in a public light. So how do you deal with like relationships that you have maybe been public with, or people like, no, y'all, this your girl. Like now you like, she being weird to me. Like I can't be in a relationship. Like how do you deal with it?
So it's two things. What I love and hate about social media, they will tell the story
before you tell.
Right. So one thing I have owned in this space of my life is social media can think what they want.
I love that.
That's like my freedom right now. Even when it comes down to everything in my life, from my business, dating life, you can think what you want. As long as me and that person have clarity, we're good. So when it comes down to Natalie, this is where I am right now. Interestingly enough, I have co-branded with network marketing so much that people do not know I have a Howard degree. I've been in the beauty industry for 10 years. I've been sold hair since I was 19 years old. I did these things for a long time.
So you feel like people view you only as
at one point. I feel like I fixed it. I successfully fixed it.
I like it.
I did it intentionally recently. So I don't care what they say. Oh, you don't hang out with these people. No, like I'm rocking with Natalie right now. I have done so much for people for so many years. I I'm figuring out what color I like again. I'm figuring out what food I like. I'm figuring out, do I even like this? Do I like these clothes? Like, I'm figuring out so much. It's so beautiful right now. And anyone that loves me has to respect that. So if you feel like I'm not hanging out with you or FaceTiming you or calling you or being funny, that's a personal issue that you have within yourself.
Right.
Because if you are respecting the space I'm in and the trauma I just got out of, I am healing.
Yes. And that's
Jesus.
okay.
You know,
Jesus.
like, right? It's like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm like, I am figuring it out. Like, and I don't want to explain everything.
Yeah.
And at moments, like, I'm actually an introvert. Most people don't really understand, know that. And like, let me be that. You know, I know how to be social, and I love being by myself or with my person. Like, let's say you're my person. I'm like that. I'll be on my, hey girl, let's just watch TV, do our work. Are you cool with that?
Yes.
And like, we don't got to talk. I might get on the phone, go in the room,
but your presence, it's just
you get what I'm saying?
You are here.
And I think that's where I'm like redefining now. And I pray that anyone that has been around me can accept that, and whoever can't accept it, I'm okay.
Yeah.
You know? So even network marketing, I'm still network marketing. I'm still one of the top earners in my company, but I don't have to over explain that on Instagram.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? As long as my team is making money, as long as I'm available, that's all that matters.
Right.
But I am in my healing season.
Listen, it's giving Natalie 2.0, and I'm here for it.
Thank you, sis. Thank you. I love it. I'm here for you too, because, and I will say this, I'm keeping it a buck. Don't listen to what people be saying on Instagram. Do not do that, because you can get caught up. I remember when we were on Clubhouse one time, someone said something to me like, oh shit, she be doing this. I don't remember what it was. I didn't care enough, actually, you know, but I didn't know you. And we have to we have to stop this gossiping. And we got to stop telling stories on people that you don't know the story. You get what I'm saying? Because I know the stories about me. It's crazy. It's like fun stories. Oh, she be with this person. She does this. Until you get to know me, that's when we can shape that relationship or that narrative. But I love what you're doing because you've been consistent.
Yes. Facts.
You get what I'm saying?
Facts. Yes.
And everybody was trying to hit a lick in the pandemic. We were trying to figure it out.
Listen, and it's crazy because I've been doing this. This is my 10th year in business.
Exactly.
And a lot of people, and a lot of people don't realize that this is consistent. Now, can I say that I've made mistakes along the way? Absolutely. Absolutely. But one thing that I always say, and I'm very... I defend myself on, is my character, my heart. If you know me, you know my heart. Like, I'm here to help, you know? And so I love how we are, you know, getting in this new season of like, let's just get to know people.
I love that. I think what you said about the character and integrity, as long as you're cool with who you are, it doesn't matter what people think. But I would say, as an entrepreneur, as someone that is seasoned like yourself, I have cared what people thought for so long. And the bondage behind that, it depicted my relationships, even people working with me and me defending, oh, I'm not like this. It's like, why am I defending myself to someone that already has this idea about me? It's cool. Do what you do. I'm going to do what I do. So it took me time to get there. And then where we are now, which I love, what you mentioned as well, is like, well, you've been doing this for a long time. I remember the pandemic, we all were trying to survive. We were all trying to figure it out. Even though we had something great going on, we were still figuring out how do we operate in this space. You get what I'm saying? So even like, I had mad people join me in TLC. I had people buy products from me. Maybe I wasn't the best customer service rep. But we're figuring it out. You get what I'm saying? So I love that for everybody right now, where we get to own where we are and utilize, of course, AI and all these different things, but to do it at our own flow.
Absolutely.
I think in the pandemic, everybody was rushing to get all the money. Everybody was like, $1 million day, $1 million hour.
Right.
And I love that for everybody. But now it's time to get back grounded.
Sustainable. Like, what's sustainable?
What is sustainable?
Yes.
And how much money do you really need to survive and to generate wealth?
Yes.
Because if you don't know what to do with your money, you're never going to generate wealth. And every dollar that you make is not your dollar.
No.
And I had to understand it with myself. I'm speaking from my own experience.
Yes,
before I got here, I was at the mall and I said, girl, you can't buy that. And it's like, I have the money to buy, but I can't buy that.
I got other stuff to do.
Yeah, we have responsibility.
Yes.
Like, it's called adulting.
It's called
Ghetto CEOing.
Come on. Yes, girl. Because it is ghetto, child.
It gets real serious over here.
Real, when you gotta tame yourself. Because then you be having conversations, you be like, I deserve that, but I need to pay this.
And then I got this coming in, so it doesn't matter.
Exactly. So when you think about being a CEO is ghetto, and what is the ghettoest thing that you think about? Like this, the fact that I had to learn this, be this, go through this, like what is that thing for you?
I think it is two things: hiring people.
Ooh,
and I feel like for so many years, I hired people for the personality and who they are versus the position.
Yeah.
I didn't hire based upon the skill set. I hired based upon the need. So as I am in this space now, escaping the ghetto CEO, like I think it's in me at this point. But it's like I'm surviving in it, and I feel good because I'm now going into thrive mode. So now I no longer hire people just because I need you. I'm hiring you because this is what you're great at. This is your skill set, and now we're gonna establish healthy boundaries. And we're gonna make sure that you know your job description. You're gonna sign this NDA because I can think that's the ghettoest thing I ever did is hiring people based upon a need. And, and I told my team the other day, as I'm building out my team, I said, I don't want to live on the defense. I want to live on the offense. And I love how you have, even with your shows, the conversation we had before the show, just being able to have things in the bucket. Who wants to live like that? Where you're always in scarcity, you're always spreading, you're always stressed. I don't want to live like that.
No, I don't deserve
I don't deserve that. Like Apple already knows their Christmas campaign. You get what I'm saying? Lululemon already knows their summer campaign in January. So now I'm in a space now like, okay, Natalie, you need to hire people that can think, and now you need to be able to communicate effectively as a leader. As a leader, a pinnacle leader. One of my favorite books is John Maxwell, 5 Levels of Leadership. And when I discovered at a time, even making a lot of money, I was still positional. You're positional because of who you are and where you are right now. But when you get to pinnacle leadership, people honor your position, and guess what? They can follow you. They'll follow you anywhere because they know they can trust you. You're not going to lead them to anywhere else but the best place because you are in alignment with God's will for your life. So that's where I am right now. It's like now that I can hear from God and I now can feel Him, I now can speak out of love. I can now say things out of love. I now can hear what someone's trying to say without shutting them down. Because I used to be like, that don't sound right. I'm working on it to this day. I'm like, just like quiet. I'm like, don't say anything.
Like, let me think about it.
Because it's like, if you have nothing nice to say back when a child, you have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all.
We need them foundations again.
Okay.
We need them foundations.
The ABCs of entrepreneurship.
Facts. Okay. Like,
nice.
But hiring is hard, and dealing with other people's personalities and understanding, especially like, I'm my only child. So it's just like, I ain't gotta deal, like, I don't know how to deal with your personality. I only have to deal with me and me only. You know what I'm saying? So it definitely is a struggle. So I love that you are overcoming it all. One thing that I always say, the sign of a good leader, and when you get into good leadership is being healed. When you heal yourself from within, you can become a better leader.
Oh, yeah. It's like an aha moment where you just can switch it at any moment. So there's certain things in my life. People probably around me like, oh my gosh, she's like, different now. It's like I'm not tolerating anything but top tier treatment.
Period.
From communication, from if you have deliverables, do your best. Do your best. If you want your 1099 position.
Yes.
I say kind now, like, listen, I enjoy working with you.
It's the smile.
I enjoy working with you month to month. I do.
It's the month to month.
I enjoy because you're not going to put me in that type of space where I feel like I owe you money every month and you're not delivering your job.
Facts.
Do your job. Do it well. The same way how you want your invoice paid every month.
On time.
Because I be getting them invoice. I look at them like, you didn't do one thing last month. But then guess what? I used to pay those invoices with that feeling in my heart that I'm like, why am I paying this person? So the point where you are going in a downward spiral and you now are living your entrepreneurial life with regret. And now you can't be your best self because you don't have proper people around you to support you. You gotta look through every email, every text. I'm like looking at my email team and we have to change several times because I'm like, why are you speaking like that?
Yeah.
I look at the emails like, I say, you know what? It's not your fault. It's my fault. I do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not your fault. It's my fault.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's okay.
It's okay.
I
We
look
about
at
to fix this.
I go back. Listen, you go back to the invoice?
Yeah.
Okay, we got 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to monitor this person for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a call with this person.
Yep.
I'm going to communicate how I feel.
Yep.
And if we can't get to that next dimension, I'm already in the process of hiring next.
Yes. And that's one thing that I have learned. Always be hiring.
Yeah.
Always be hiring. So what would you tell, before we wrap up, what would you tell a CEO that's dealing with this right now? They all in the weeds of this.
Yeah.
What would you tell them to get them through?
So for the CEO that's in a space where you're trying to figure it out, maybe you had some success, maybe you're stuck. I don't know where you are right now. Breathe. It's going to be okay. Next, you got to pray. You got to pray and ask God to give you clarity. And I'm not talking about the Instagram prayers. I'm talking about unplug and plug into God. And when you're able to plug into God, he now downloads strategy. He downloads clarity.
Yes.
And there's so many parts of my life, sis, that I'm like, man, I wish I would have just talked to him about it first. And as you are propelling it as a CEO, understand that sweatless victories have your name on it. What does that mean?
Yes.
You don't have to live a life of struggle. Yes. You don't have to live a life of struggle. No. There are people and resources and tools waiting for you. But you have to have the wisdom and you have to be able to have the confidence to make these decisions.
Yes.
And last but not least, go. Go. Yes. If you got to do it scared, do it scared. If you got to do it fearful, do it fearful. Yes. Because faith and fear can't operate in the same space. I say that a lot. Faith and fear cannot operate in the same space. Either you have faith and you trust God, or you're going to be scared and just don't do anything.
Yes.
If you are going to be a CEO, you have to do it scared.
Yes.
Because no one is going to save you.
Yes.
And when I realized nobody was going to save me, no one owed me that's, oh, here, let me just give you a life jacket.
Right.
You know, like, no one's going to do that. As soon as I understood that, sis, I promise you, that's when things just start getting clearer. I breathe more. You know, I pray more. I relax more. When issues happen, I do nothing. I had an issue going on the other day. I did nothing. Like, get back with me by 1:00 p.m. Absolutely not. What are you going to do about it?
Right.
Because you're putting me in a box.
Right.
And I need time to think.
Yes.
And anything that's urgent for you and it's not urgent for me, then whatever God is going to do with this, he'll do. I'm not saying just ignore people's deadlines. Yeah. But if you have this uneasy in your easy spirit, this feeling in your spirit, don't do it.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say. Because it'll be all right. There's moments where I thought that it was over. Look at me here, right on this couch.
Right here, y'all.
Right on the couch, chilling.
Listen, so I've actually never asked anybody to do this, but I would love for you to leave this episode in prayer.
Oh, yes. Okay. I love it. Heavenly Father, thank you so much for bringing us here together, Lord. Thank you so much for covering your child, Monrae, and allowing her to understand that she has an assignment on her life, Lord, an assignment to be able to live on purpose, an assignment to be able to do your will, Lord. Right now, I'm asking for any viewer right now that has a business that's feeling any anxiety, release that anxiety in their body right now, Lord. Allow them to understand that you are God and you're God all by yourself. You don't need our hurt. You don't need our sadness. You don't need our worry. You just need us to keep showing up and having faith. Right now, I'm asking you to just grant us peace, love, abundance, and allow us to understand that this next season is going to be one of the best seasons of our life. We love you. We adore you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Y'all, thank y'all for tuning in for the Ghetto CEO Podcast. Listen, if you need a new win, just scroll back, okay, and go to Natalie's prayer, okay, and listen to that every day so you can keep going. Thank you for listening to the Ghetto CEO Podcast, and I'll see y'all in the next episode. Bye.
Invoice in, that ain't ghetto. Money spin, oh, that's ghetto.